Hello and welcome. Time for a silver update. And the date today is Tuesday the 6th of March 2018. Like always, everything you do is your own risk, own reward. I have been accumulating physical silver since the March timeframe of 2008. I bought 2 Canadian Maple Leaf coins costing me $50 Canadian. Spot price was, I think, around 21 at the time. And since then, I pretty much have bought in every single year. The largest year of accumulation was 2017, as that was mainly thanks to cryptocurrencies doing very well, and of course being able to use cryptocurrencies to buy physical silver. Now today's move is having an interesting one. It's got a low, $16.4, $16.40. It's got a current price close to $16.80, which means the differential is 40 cents. That would work out to that of 2.5%. We look at this on a shorter term time frame. We will move next to, say, the 4 hours. That's only like a half day. No, this is silver. This is trades all the time. 4 hours would be like the one. It's several. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 6 is 24. It's a 1/6 chart. So we can see just over the last couple hours, it has had a nice move. First level of resistance I'm looking at is around 1676, so it's right there. It's pierced above it. Next level of resistance thereafter would come in at about 1693. But I'm not talking about short term in this video. Oh, quite the opposite. I'm talking long term. Now the COT has interesting statistics, or data rather, and you can't see it on this chart. I will put a link in the comments section to a Mike Maloney video done today, talking about the COT report and how many of the large commercials, oh, they don't want to short this, they want to go long. And when they do that, it usually goes up. Usually. Now within this daily, it's been more of a silver move, or it's doing the normal thing you would expect. When silver goes up, it goes up more than gold. When it goes down, it does also more as well. Just a higher percentage number either way. Gold's only up 1.1% right now. So it's still at its 18 average of highs, but it started at the 18 average of lows. So it's really cool looking at the chart analysis. This gives you perspective based on that fact alone, that silver is outperforming gold for the day. And as far as the gold-silver ratio is concerned, it's in at 79.4. It has barely broken this level of support. And you know what? There's another level pretty much where it's at now, which is at this support on these 2 days here. And then it even expands down to 79.10 into about 79.17 as its next level. And I got a line in at 75.50. It's a key Fibonacci number of some sort. Let's move back to silver again. And when I've been talking about this and I have for quite some time, there really isn't much for me to say about this because of the monthly term time frame. And I've talked about reversal of trend. This 18 average to me is a magnificent indicator, as it really does help describe the story, at least for myself. And of course, anyone watching my channel would already know that, and some of you have already incorporated it yourself, so you might share some of the same sentiments as I do. But it should be easy to know if something's up, down, or sideways. But when you see price action coming up into the 18 average, leaving it somewhere well below it, coming back to it, going below it, coming back to it, going below it, back to it, below it, back to it, below it, back to it, above it. Oh, there's the change. And also, when you look at the direction of such, you have the flat one here, which was following a rising one. So, situation there, it's, as I talk about in the game of bulls versus bears, you can only have, it's a two-player game. One person or one team, one participant goes, then the next one goes thereafter. And when you see action moving up like that, that tells me the bulls are in control of the market. They're the ones that got the dice. And then this happens, it comes back down. So in situations when it's sideways within these time frames, that's the bears basically ended their turn, but they haven't started theirs yet. Because when it goes sideways, it can only resolve a sideways manner in one of two directions, either up or down. And of course, whenever you have sideways, you basically will always establish key resistance and support. In this case, resistance was 35, and support was 26 and change. Actually, it was about 26.30, I thought it was. Just see what the low here was. 26.10. I was thinking that too. It's been a while. So it's been a while. What was this low here? 26.20. Okay, so low 26 was support. When it broke below it, well, that means the bears had their turns. And now, with what has been going on, it has went sideways. Now you can state within that a bulls had a small turn here because it got above it. Okay, that's fine. But since the late year of 2016, which is the entire 2017 time frame, the last 2 or 3 months of that one, that makes 15 months. We're in the 3rd month this year. A year and a half of going sideways. The only real action that price has had above or below a small pierce below in the start of this, that really doesn't count. And this pierce above most certainly does not count. This pierce below, barely, that's just barely going below it. That's normal in a neutral market. Now this one had a huge move, but it re-entered it within the day. And it has stayed within the 18 average quite some time. This happened July of last year. And this also happened at a weird time, roughly at around, I think it was 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Weird time. So the market's been completely sideways, and the bulls, they don't have the dice, neither do the bears. So the sideways action can only resolve itself in one of two ways, up or down. Like always, support and resistance is like always detected. We'll use the weekly chart for that task. So support, 1570. 1570. Not higher, not lower. Unless you want to talk about 1567, but that's the support. 3 times tested. Now there's also another layer of support here between 1640 and 1608. Resistance. We have been making several lower highs. We have this last one in at 1769. Again at 1816, 1862, little over 20, and then before that around 21. So to say that it's clear, you know what's the best number to go? I'd have to say around 1810, which is a pierce below the last high. What was pretty much hit in August of last year, April of last year, and then February of last year as well. And if the COT reports state that these things are going to be good, well, it could be a decent move, maybe only to the 20, and this thing stays in a sideways range. But when this thing is ready to go, and it breaks out of this range, it's built up enough fuel/energy that can be needed to spark a monstrosity of a move. A monstrous, and depending on which side you are, either beautiful or heart-wrenching. Especially for those who have sold or wanted to get in and they see it go way higher. And then maybe it goes lower. But let's talk about what I consider to myself safe investments for monetary value over a good long-term time frame. I don't want too long where you're passing down to your kids and their kids' kids, although that's, I think, is important. Or mid-term, long-term, which is the next year or two. Again, I like all time frames. I trade on the short term as a trader. But I'm, as a trader, building my long-term portfolio, of course. And if it has these big moves, then you know what? So be it. I'm hoping that if it has a good move, it either only goes up to 20, but even 28, as huge as that would be for some people, okay, that's decent. Because my goal is to turn cryptocurrencies into such. As silver to me is the only ONLY, not even close to anything else, although gold is not far behind for me. The only thing that I could confidently state right now that I feel happy to own in the year 2028 or 10 years from now. I believe the value silver will have will be magnificent. But silver, what is silver? It's an actual, real, physical commodity on the periodic table of elements that has magnificent uses. And although most likely yourself and definitely myself, when I take my brick of silver, my silver coin, and I try to use it in any of those magnificent scientific ways, I have no idea what to do. Although I could watch professionals do it on YouTube, but I also know how to sell it on a market or buy it on a market. That's important. And I realize that those people that are going to want to melt them down are going to need to buy it. So they're going to have to find people, and that's just the whole market doing what it does. So I'm confident that this thing can't go to zero, nor can it lose a significant portion of its value. That is why I am very confident with silver. Gold, I'm a little bit cognizant on the fact that, well, what do you do with gold? And you just mine it, you build bricks, you build coins, and then you store it somewhere. People buy it, and then you never really melt those coins, like ever. So what do you do with them? Yeah, that's the reason why I'm kind of scared. And it gets to the fact that what happens if some sort of, I mean, there could be a major gold inventory come in and it just could hurt the price of gold. But with that being said, I own a very small amount. I own a ½ ounce of gold. But I don't think there's anything else that can give me confidence in 10 years. Fiat currency is not even close, not even maybe. Those things can obviously go to close to or that of nothing. And if you look at how holding fiat currency from, say, 1971 through 1981 worked for you, how you doing? It didn't do so well. Inflation was rambunctious at that time, losing well more than half of its value. The fiat currencies did. As many items went up 75 cents, $1.50, $2.25, $2.50. If you watch The Price is Right from 1972 and see how much a car was, so a lot higher in 1982, and of course a lot higher in 2018. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, even the blockchain technology itself. I don't feel too 100% confident that I know that I can just spend, in 10 years it's going to have its value. It's going to be for sure. And even if cryptocurrencies and blockchain does, how do I know that some coin in 2022 created in that, or in 2025 becomes the next big thing and maybe destroys all of the pioneer coins like Bitcoin and Litecoin? After all, how many people are driving Model Ts today and in 1941? As things obviously get better. Now, you just can't make a new commodity like silver, something totally brand new. Now, of course, you can try to mix and work with other commodities, thus use silver stuff, but that's the whole point of why I like the precious metal. Okay, is there really anything more that I want to go over? Well, I'll say this again, and I probably will talk more about this when I actually show some of my precious metals. I'm not big, and I really haven't shown much of my silver in the past. However, as far as my investing strategy is concerned, I believe in getting the best bang for your buck, but also getting the best bang for your buck for what costs more. So when you're paying, you have the option of paying 5%, 7%, 9% over spot, 10%, what have you, or 20%. If I can find something really good that's like 15% over spot, where I could buy something else at 10, I might take it. And when time goes on, I realize that these monstrously high prices that could come up here can happen on a real tangible level because of trying to fix this. Never mind. It can happen on a tangible level because, one, you got the weakness of the fiat currency, and then, of course, all of the discoveries in which the real metal has in a shortage situation, which does seem as if may come into play. And in such, and then you throw the manipulation of this price as well. So there's three major factors. And then if there's a point where everybody needs silver for the real industrial purpose, that means those scientific geniuses that melt the stuff and make the stuff and put it all together will need some inventory. That's all of the stackers that there are that have been. A lot of them are going to be turning the silver into into whatever asset class at the time, whether it be a fiat currency, whether it be a cryptocurrency, whether it be gold, whether it be real estate, or whatever you have. That's what they're going to do. And that's why when I like the cheap stuff, the Sunshine Mint, the bars, the 1 kg, the 10-ounce bars, and hopefully soon for me even the 100, maybe the 1,000-ounce bars, but I got to be really rich to buy 1,000-ounce bars. Those ones are the ones that would do very, very well in that situation, because what's the difference if they're melting down a 100-ounce bar or 5 rolls of American Eagles? In fact, they might rather the 100-ounce bar because it'll be easier for them to melt than having 100 coins they have to take out of 5 tubes. The whole point of it is have those physical assets ready so that I can sell those 1,000-ounce bars. Hopefully, that would be if the market can stay below $50 over the next year or two and cryptocurrencies go way up, then that might become a realistic situation for me. But all the kg, 10-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars, that's what I'd be doing with it, is selling it for people wanting to melt it down. And what I would sell it for, I can't tell you now because the market conditions at that time would tell me that. But I got some nice little beautiful artsy bars. I'm not going to take those to that place. No, I don't want to. I know other people are, but I'm not. And that's span another 10 to 20 years thereafter that. And let's just assume we're in 2040, 2050, whichever year in the 40s. And we're mining silver still. Well, I hope so. And we're still making, say 10-ounce coins and 1-ounce coins, what have you. And let's assume you have a very beautiful, beautiful 1-ounce coin and a very beautiful 10-ounce bar. Yet they make 10-ounce bars at that time that would be probably much, much cheaper, or your coins being more expensive. So whatever a normal 10-ounce bar would cost on the going market in 20, 30 years, the one that you did not melt sometime in the future, that you held for decades and kept it in its pristine condition, well, next thing you know, that's selling for 10, 20, 50 times higher than another one. Probably even at least 3 or 4 times higher, maybe. Well, that is one of the reasons for it, because maybe there was a mintage of, say, 250,000. But many of them have been exhausted, of course, during the time frame that I talk about. And then many of them aren't even in pristine condition, which means, yeah, they're worth well, but they're not worth as much. So I can't not think of any other investment class. Now, there's always miscellaneous small assets that are good to hold, especially when you talk about world survival needs like water and food, different forms of like medicines and bandages and just what have you, the life essentials, especially the ones that last for so long. It's not a real liquids buyer or seller's market if you're looking to sell bars of soap or toilet paper or bandages again, gauze, whatever. That's not a big market. However, it's good to have for your personal use. And if you ever think about wanting to hold more, especially the stuff that has longer shelf life, not a bad idea in my opinion, because for some stuff like that, I do the same. Okay then, thank you for tuning in to this video. Have yourself a magnificent day. Bye-bye.